Hey guys, this is Raham from Atrex. I'm going to walk you through the Fall 18 collection. A couple of things. First, we're going to talk a little bit about the history of the company. Then we're going to get into some features and benefits of each collection. And lastly, we're going to go into some selling tips that are going to help you on the fitting stool. Alright, so Atrex is actually a 70-year-old family-owned company, specializing for most of that 70 years in foot health and foot care products. When we started doing shoes, we have a very simple mission statement, which is we want to make shoes that don't just look good, but actually are better for you, that have details and components inside to support the foot, to help you avoid setbacks, and to allow you to be active, doing the things that you want to be doing while still wearing fashionable footwear. So when we talk about things that are hidden inside the shoes to make the footwear work better for your body, we talk about three different things. We call it the healthy three. And what do we mean by that? There's three components that are universal across every shoe that we make. So the first one is the orthotic arch support that's built into every single shoe. Now, this item right here is a $60 orthotic. We retail these at $60. Well, this support is built into every single shoe. So if it's a $100 shoe or a $150 shoe, there's actually the benefits of a $60 orthotic built into it. Now, one thing I want to point out here is, if you notice where the arch is placed, it's a little further back than you're probably used to seeing. That's because the high point of the arch, if you look at the skeleton of the foot, isn't up here. It's actually right here underneath the ankle bone. So what we do with our arch placement and arch height is actually support the arch at its highest point and in the right place. Now there's benefits from that, of course, including better body alignment, which takes stress off the joints, shock absorption, and just makes your feet feel better overall. The second thing that we have is memory foam built into every single shoe. So if you look inside, you can actually see the squishy memory foam that we use, which conforms to different contours of the foot and has benefits to it as well. So not only is it squishy, it's not going to push on your foot in any weird ways. And last but not least, it's a little bit hard to see, it's actually invisible, so it's impossible to see, is the linings are treated with an antimicrobial. So these are the healthy three. There's arch support, our orthotic arch support, there's memory foam, and then we have the antimicrobial lining, which helps fight off bacteria. All right, so we talked a little bit about the history of the company, the mission of the company, and some of the features that are built into every single shoe that we make. I'm going to jump in and talk about our waterproof collection. Some great features here and a really nice line of product. So one thing that's universal in this whole group is actually the outsole is slip resistant. It's certified slip resistant. It's actually stamped. It's hard to see from here, but if you look at it up close, you can see it. This is a slip resistant bottom. The midsole is actually EVA. EVA is what we use in athletic shoes. So it's that puffed up foamy material that gives a lot of shock absorption, and it just makes the shoes really lightweight. In fact, these are so lightweight they actually float. I don't recommend doing this, but they are so lightweight that they will float. Usually when you see a winter boot or a closed up shoe like this, the thought is it's going to be really heavy, but they're actually really lightweight because of the construction that we use. Also, the uppers are waterproof. So water will beat up and roll right off. We actually have a bladder, you can't see it, it's a bladder inside here underneath the lining that's waterproof, seam sealed so that it'll stand up to the elements. Inside, we have this great orthotic arch built into it with memory foam and of course the Atrex orthotic arch. All right, so we talked a little bit about the collection, and we're going to go into each different pattern individually, and then at the end, going to give some selling tips that you can use at the fitting stool. So the first shoe I'm going to talk about is the Kimber. We're going in our second year with Kimber. We introduced her in 17, and it was an amazing seller, and we're expecting it to be a huge shoe again this fall. What we love about Kimber is super easy on, easy off with this neoprene piece through here. We're doing it in suedes and then some oiled leathers as well. One thing you'll see on the back here is this is actually memory foam around the heel, just so it doesn't pinch on the Achilles, just for some added comfort to it. A couple of elastic bands are kind of hidden in here as well over the neoprene just to hold the foot in. Love this shoe as an easy on, easy off shoe. Something you can keep in a mud room or what have you, just so you can hit the road. It's going to be really hard to see on here, but actually the lining on here is a really nice soft microfiber, almost like a fleece liner on this one. That's Kimber. All right, so next is the laning. We love laning because just like Kimber, it's going to be really easy on, easy off. Difference is we've added a bungee lacing system to it. You push down on the button and you can adjust it. But it's bungee, so it's got a little stretch to it. So once you set how tight you want it, you can still slip it on and off just like a slip-on. So it's a great feature on it too. You'll notice on the outside here, there's actually a little piece of neoprene in there as well on both sides, just for added comfort. And of course, the memory foam around the Achilles so it doesn't pinch in and bite. Laney is our introduction to her with 3 different colors. These great waterproof nubucks are going to do really well. So this is another great new pattern for us. It's called the Robin. Just a really great clog. It's waterproof, slip resistant, and of course has the removable footbed so you can replace it with an aftermarket orthotic. This is a great flower pattern, so it's easy to wipe off. If you're working in a kitchen or a hospital, the Robin comes in 5 different colors, and it's already doing really well. All right, so Kelsey is next in the group. Really excited about Kelsey. This is a waterproof winter boot that just looks really different than anything else in this universe. Earlier I mentioned the EVA midsole. It really stands out in the white, obviously, but you can see how squishy and cushioned that is. Really lightweight for a waterproof boot. Added feature on the Kelsey, not only is it slip resistant and waterproof, they're actually rated -20. So this really is a true winter boot with the great faux fur lining that actually extends all the way inside it to the toe. So it's really cozy on the foot and it's going to keep the foot dry and warm. All right, last but not least is the Fiona. Really love the look of Fiona. Great fur, faux fur detail up the tongue and then all the way around. Extends all the way to the toe. So Fiona, just like Kelsey, is not only slip resistant and waterproof, but it's also rated -20. So it's going to keep your foot not just dry, but also warm during those winter months. And just like everything else in the collection, really lightweight thanks to that great squishy EVA midsole. So I mentioned that this collection is waterproof. This is actually a sample of the waterproof liner that's inside every shoe. You'll notice that the seams are sealed, are tape sealed, and it has our nice microfiber or synthetic liner in here. To demonstrate how waterproof it is, I'm actually going to take a bottle of water and pour it in here. Don't try this at home, kids. Now I'm really thirsty. But now I've got a little canteen I could take with me when I hit the road. All right, so now we're going to talk just a couple selling tips that you can utilize on the fitting stool and help close this out. The first thing that I do when I'm working with a customer on the floor is I actually take out the arch support and I point out where the arch is. I let her see it up close, right at eye level, and I point out that, yeah, it's in a different place that we're used to seeing, but that's on purpose. That's actually the magic of the product, because what we want to do is support the arch at its highest point, which is back here in the ankle bone, not up here. Benefits of that, of course, are better alignment, which means less stress on the joints. Let her know that ahead of time and let her know what she's about to experience. The other thing I like to talk about is the memory foam. Memory foam is really important. If you point that out to a customer, it registers. People think of mattresses and things like that, which are super squishy and conforming to your body, or in this case, conforming to the foot. So there's benefits associated with that. In this collection, don't hesitate to point out that they're waterproof and slip resistant. I make sure to point out the slip resistant stamp in the bottom of on the outsole, which is a really nice feature to point out as well. I mentioned waterproof. We actually have a liner inside these shoes that is seam sealed and 100% waterproof, and that's in every single shoe in the collection. So that's another great selling point to talk about. And last but not least, and probably most important, get it on the foot. Let her experience what you've been talking about, what you can spend 20 minutes talking about. Let her feel the difference. She'll be blown away by the comfort and support from these great looking shoes.